Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We are here on day 2, week number 1 of Duo Esports Bronze Silver Gold Competitive Series. My name's X Don. With me is my boy Fred Frederson. What's going on, man?
And not much.
All right. So for the matchup today, on the blue side, we have Tisk Tist. On the red, Frosty Esports. And we're already into picks and bans. Coming out strong is the Rakan, not a real doctor, not going to be able to play that one. Ban coming right after that for the red side is Vayne. Super strong in the bot lane. Not the best pick right now, but is definitely up there. How do you feel about that so far?
We actually saw Vayne yesterday, and it wasn't too bad of a pick. Although it was picked by ESG, I believe, and they didn't really manage to win with it. It still was able to put out a decent amount of damage.
Yeah, the way the bot meta is turning out, kind of farm up and scale, and Vayne is definitely in that category of champions that can do that. The later she goes, the scarier she looks. 80 carries getting banned out left and right, though. Xayah coming out for Tisk Tisk, not wanting Nova to play that, and Jhin, Drago Kane is not going to be able to play that one. Jhin, not too sure where he is right now. Lethality's still okay. Another band coming out. That'll wrap up the first 3. Aatrox, not sure why, but who knows? Who knows? Anything could happen. It could be super OP.
Honestly, with a name like Mordekaiser, it already sounds like he doesn't play the meta picks.
Yeah, probably plays a couple more of those unfavorable top laners. Last ban coming out for Frosty Esports is the Gragas. Probably going to be aimed at Dub XL. Won't be able to pick that up in the jungle. Really good tank initiation. But speaking of tank initiation, DaFluff picking up the Ornn. Already super strong. We all know Ornn, tank that does the most damage on the team. Fred, I know you particularly love that champion.
Oh yeah, definitely. Although speaking of champions I love, one I actually loved coming out from Mordekaiser, Kled pick. Haven't seen Kled much this season or preseason. I think it was a while last season since he's been really played a lot.
How do you feel like he goes into the Ornn matchup?
It's definitely not too bad with how Kled can go through some champions' health bars, but at the same time, it's not too bad for DaFluff either. I think the best way that Mordekaiser can play this lane is by just trying to dash past Flame Breath.
All right, going past the top lane, though, everyone picking up their own champion. Solo Rost picking out the Kayn. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Solo Rost. We've seen him in the Gathering of Warriors games earlier this week, and if he does anything like he did in those 2 games, this is going to be very scary, very fast if he goes for the Shadow Kayn route. Other jungler being picked up for Dub XL, Warwick, going to be a pretty strong tank, has a decent early to mid game. Jhin Daddy locking in the Malzahar for Tisk Tisk. Everyone on that team is going to press R, and a team fight's going to happen. Orianna, last pick being picked up for Shy Quinn. We're pretty much just going down the rolls at this point.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. It looks like now the support's getting banned, even though all the ADCs are already on the board for the bans and they haven't been picked. It's not too hard to deny a lot of ADC picks. Curious to see what we get out of this, because I think Frosty Esports is going to be really looking for our heavy engage support to really round out their composition with this Kled Orianna engage.
Yeah, absolutely. They do, I think, need one more tank in that composition, because I don't think he's going to go for the roster route. I do think he will go Shadow Assassin. But okay, more bot lane bans being thrown out of here. Tark being banned on the blue side. Thresh being banned on the red side. Not wanting to have to deal with the potential hook initiations. Misfortune, another strong 80 carry. Not going to be able to be played this game. And taking away Caitlyn from Nova Frost. Not wanting him on lane dominant 80 carries. We'll see what they go ahead and pick up here. Maybe they're going to try and snipe away another 80 carry before Tisk Tisk is even able to look at it. And that's what I was kind of expecting. Varus, really strong, has more initiation for the side of Frosty Esports here. The on-hit build is particularly popular, and he'll be able to melt the health bars of Ornn and Warwick. But speaking of farm up and scale 80 carries, Tristana into the Varus, not a bad pickup at all. We'll be able to rocket jump away from most of the team here, coming out with the initiation on Frosty. And should be able to scale up into the mid and late game very nicely. Has that nice power spike at 2 items. What will be the support here for Kimchi? It's looking like it'll be the Nami, and it is. Some nice counter initiation after they go ahead and use the Kled ultimate. I think it's a pretty good pickup.
Definitely. To go with the Auron ultimate especially. That's 2 AoE knockups that go down the whole lane in a straight line.
That, now that you mention it, that does not look like it'd be fun to be hit by, having the Auron ultimate follow up right after the Nami ultimate. Good luck trying to move left or right, or even flashing those. But to round out this team competition, they are going to go with the Lulu just to buff up that attack speed on hit Varus, which is most likely what we're expecting here. Even more, we'll be able to give that what we're assuming will be a Shadow Assassin Kayn, that extra little bit of HP with the shield and the wild growth. Could also be able to put it on the Kled just to make him that much more annoying. If you thought 2 health bars wasn't annoying enough, your team compositions are locked in. And honestly, I don't really know who has the upper hand here. What are your thoughts?
I'm leaning more towards Tis on this one. I think they have a very beefy front line. It's going to be hard for Frosty Esports to really maneuver around all that, especially with Solo Ross. If he tries to go Shadow Assassin, then Jin Daddy's just going to be able to press a button and pretty much eliminate him as a champion.
Yeah, I do see that potentially being an outcome. The early to mid game coming out from Tis is pretty strong, whereas I think Orianna needs to scale up just a little bit more. I think Varus, he just needs just a little bit more. But if they get a lead, I don't think they're going to take their foot off the pedal. If Frosty Esports, they go ahead and get like a little bit of a gold advantage if they're hitting their item spikes, if they're hitting the Rage Blade, if they're getting the Morello Void Staff, if he's able to get the Shadow Assassin off pretty quickly, I don't think there's too much that Tis can do to get back into the game. Although they do have amazing pick with that comp, so there's a lot of comeback mechanics for both teams here.
Definitely, Tis always has the opportunity to just wait until the late game where Jin Daddy and Draco Kane are able to do a lot of damage to single targets, at least be able to pick up a lot of the squishies on Frosty Esports. Really, the only tank threat to worry about is Mordekaiser, and if Solo Rost actually decides to go Rost. Although that still won't be too much of a tank threat when you're looking at an Auron Warwick.
Yeah, it'll really be up to this matchup in the top lane to see if Mordekaiser's able to pick up that lead. That really makes Kled the monster that he's picked for, because Kled goes well into a lot of lane matchups, and so with the base damage on the bear trap on a rope, he can pretty much chunk down a lot of people. But Auron is just so dominant. I really don't see a chance for Kled to have too many openings. Who knows though? Maybe the jungler gets him a little bit of pressure. Maybe he's able to get some sums out. Maybe he is able to pick up that kill we're talking about, and then he becomes that huge tank threat that suddenly Jin Daddy has to waste the Malzahar ult, or else somebody's gonna die. It's very potential that it's very yeah, that could potentially happen is what I'm trying to say. Excuse me, I'm just so excited.
And I think Frosty Esports really have the ability to make that top lane lead happen. Having a Kayn and a Kled up there means that tower dives are going to be extremely easy. Their mechanics already do the tower dive for them when it comes to juggling turret aggro. You get Kled in there first, he drops his mount, and then Solo Ross can tank turret for a little bit before going inside of the fluff and then jumping back out with Mordekaiser tanking it.
And that's probably how much juggling they'll need to do, more than a bunch of clowns at a circus, to go ahead and knock down the Auron in the top lane, because he's just impossible to kill. Like, his shield's up every 6 seconds. He's just turns into an unstoppable monster.
Yeah, it's definitely fun when he's just getting that shield every couple seconds, getting your health bar down every couple seconds.
Taking a look at different lanes, though, Malzahar into the Orianna. I think Orianna has a slight advantage, is able to easily proc the Malzahar passive, make sure that disables are able to be thrown onto him. She can clear out his voidlings pretty easily. But for the most part, that's basically just to sit in farm lane, unless Jin Daddy decides to go ahead and use the flash ult for initiation, maybe follow up a XL and get a kill early on. It's potentially could have some action there. We'll see if Orianna decides to pick up a QSS or not. Respects the Malzahar ult.
It's definitely something worth respecting.
Absolutely. So we go ahead and load in to the other loading screen. Take a look at some of the keystone choices here. See if there's anything interesting. Anything to note at you guys at home.
Maybe a press the attack Malzahar. Who knows?
It could happen. It could happen. Imagine if Voidlings proc press the attack. Lethal tempo Voidlings. Make it happen, right? 2k18. Why not? 80 carry Malzahar.
Well, we do have an arcane spellbook on this Orianna pick.
Spellbook, I don't think is a bad option. Being able to swap to teleport into the mid and late game and having your flash up that 25% more often is really big against the Malzahar, honestly, because you can get out of some of those ganks.
Yeah, depending on the reaction time for some of those ganks, if it's Jin Daddy flashing in to get the ultimate off, then flashing out of that at the right time could result in just taking no damage from it and still being under tower while being suppressed, and DubXL's not really gonna be able to follow that up too effectively.
Not really, which is why we'll look out for the QSS purchase, see if it's something that happens as we go ahead and load onto the Rift here. This is game 1 of day 2 of week 1 of Duo Esports Bronze, Silver, Gold competitive series. We have Tis versus Frosty Esports. Put it in the chat. Who do you guys think is going to win? We have 2 amazing team compositions here. Expect team fights and expect them to happen often once these 2 comps get online.
Definitely. Should be an exciting game once we're out of the early game. Although we'll expect a lot of trading to happen in the top lane here. Mordekaiser picking up that Doran's Blade, probably looking to get some of the aggression off early.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the Doran's Blade start too much, just simply because he does get poked out by Orin's Flame Breath quite often. But we'll see if it works out for him. Maybe he's able to get that early all-in, and he can possibly make Orin back, which is something his passive doesn't want him to do. So both teams lined up here. Tis more afraid of possibly an invade, but regardless, doesn't look like anything is gonna happen. Both junglers gonna be starting in their bot side, so we could see some action mid and top early on once they clear their buffs.
Alright, now looking like a pretty standard start for the junglers. They should both have their presence around the top lane pretty early. Although maybe it depends on what what route Solo Ross decides to take. He doesn't.
Well, at level 3, Warwick does have more gank potential than Solo Ross. I will say that Warwick does have the fear once he does hit that level 3, so he could possibly go ahead and blow some sums mid. But this is what I'm talking about. Look at Orin in the top side. It doesn't matter whether you started Doran's Blade. The man just does too much damage, and on top of that, he took Aftershock.
Yeah, so if he's able to get that auto attack proc up, he does get an extra bit of defense going.
Isn't even able to proc the second half of Bear Trap on a rope, which is where most of the damage is, and he's about to demount Mordekaiser, and he's only used 2 abilities. And he's only autoed him twice.
It's really all he needs in this lane, though. Mordekaiser
Right,
popping the potion already. This is overcompensated for a weak release.
Something interesting to note in the bot side, Varus did decide to go with the Relic Shield. Lulu will be able to hit those items pretty early, but really nice trade here coming up from Mordekaiser. Still hasn't been demounted. A little bit of poke coming up from the bot side, but they do have Nami.
That's actually the biggest thing. Biggest thing in the top lane for Mordekaiser is being able to get his 4 auto attacks off. The first 3 only really have the attack speed bonus. So once he procs the 3rd one, he gets the press the attack proc, and then the 4th one does the amp damage.
You are not wrong. We'll see if he goes in for a little bit of an all-in here. Doesn't seem to have the W up, though. Does proc it. Will he go for it? Ooh, so close in the top side. Both flashes are blown. Mordekaiser going offensive onto the fluff. Respect flash for that last auto. Warwick is on the hunt, though. There's no way he gets out of this. And he chomps him for the first blood. That was very fast.
Even faster
but
for the
as we expected.
As we expected with that jungle pressure on that top side. Happened a little bit faster for the stream there, though. Unfortunately, had a little bit of lag there. This game slowed down, had to speed it back up, and we get to see Warwick run in there even faster.
And that's basically as fast as we saw it in real time. Hopefully we're caught back up just a little bit. Okay. Basically a farm lane in the bot side. Lulu's not going to really be able to poke out Nami. Nami isn't really going to be able to poke out the Varus or the Lulu. So Before I finish that though, there's a gank mid. Jin Daddy, will he be able to get out of this? Is trying to dodge abilities. Is gonna have to blow his flash. Almost held onto it too long there. I was getting hit by everything by trying to juke. But he does get out. Only a flash blown. He stayed alive. That's what matters.
And Solo Ross also lost his flash on that too, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
No, not the worst thing in the world. Going 1-for-1 on summoners when the jungler ganks your lane is about as good you can hope for besides killing both of them. Deflef, though, getting a really nice trade here, able to get the knockup into the wall, but before we finish that, gank in the bot side can double XL get the fear off onto the Lulu. He does get it. The rocket jump comes in from Dragon Kune. Can he get the blast damage? He does, but it is not enough. Flash going ahead and be blown from Not a Real Doctor. Nova Frost dodging the bubbles pretty nicely, but more action in the top side. Mordekaiser goes ahead and gets the mount back and all that sweet, sweet HP, but Fluff is like, wait a minute, let me knock it back down for you. This is auto trade war going on, is not favoring the Fluff, especially with the press the attack Mordekaiser on the Kled. Whew! There's action going on all over this map.
Yeah, well, we should get a nice little break here with the... Looks like the Fluff's probably going to back soon after picking up this wave, not having a mana bar to really keep fighting. The Mordekaiser's looking to head back as well. No TPs on these top laners.
Not at all, but here we have another all-in on the bot side. Not a Real Doctor, not enough. No summoner to flash away, but he doesn't need to. He goes ahead, puts the shields up onto himself, and Nova Frost able to get a pretty good trade back. They're looking to go for the all-in, which is pretty much the only way you win that lane as a Tristana Nami, but just not enough damage yet. And he has to be careful, because he is starting to lose out in the farm lead. He's down 13 CS to his opponent, Nova Frost. And that kind of adds up over the course of a game.
Yeah, Not a Real Doctor's going to be ahead of Kimchi in gold, since Nova Frost did opt to start with the Relic Shield.
Absolutely. So Lulu, you know, is excited to go back, maybe start working towards that Ardent Sensor. We'll see what she aims for first. Not the best early rush, but when you have a on-hit attack speed Varus, why not buy the on-hit attack speed item? Both junglers meeting each other in the topside river. They choose to walk away, place down some wards, call it a day, go back to farming. However, big spike for the mid lane. Jin Daddy finally has the press R and stay still. Will they decide to use it? Totally up to them. But what we really care about is more action in the top side. Mordekaiser's like, wait, did I say you could build an item? Notices that the Fluff is low on mana. Can't really do too much without it. Whereas Mordekaiser doesn't have any mana.
No, he's just got a cowardly mount and a timer for when it comes back.
Absolutely. I actually didn't think that Kled would be this good into Ornn, but Mordekaiser's kind of proving me wrong here. It looks pretty decent.
I figured it wouldn't be too bad since the counterplay to Ornn is mainly to move somewhat towards him or being able to quickly get behind him during his W. And Mordekaiser hasn't been able to pull that off consistently, but he's done it a couple times where he's able to avoid the proc from the auto attack by getting on the other side of the Fluff.
Oh, we do see the bubble land out onto Nova Frost. He does have flash. He doesn't get to use it though. Rocket jump being used ahead, has the bomb. The exhaust is not enough, and he goes ahead and picks up the kill with the gank existence from Double XL. Really great job landing that ultimate. Can Mordekaiser pick up the solo kill onto Deflef? He is able to under the tower. It doesn't matter. Just had enough health to get out of there and shotgun him in the back. The worst way to go. But before I finish up, there was almost another fight, and there is another fight in the mid lane. Rocket jump going forward from Dragon Kune, tries to get the flash to knock him backwards. Stopwatch is coming out. We are at that point in the game. Is it going to be enough damage till the last auto go out? It does from Jin Daddy, but gets him with the space stuff. Oh my
wow, these
God.
teams are forcing the action a bit earlier than we expected.
8 minutes into the game, and there's just non-stop aggression from all points in the game. Wow. I need to slow down for a bit. Fred, what's going on in this game?
Well, we're looking at just with a bit of a lead right now. Only 600 gold up. They only have 2 kills right now. The farm's looking pretty even. Jin Daddy's up in the mid lane, and Defluff's down in the top lane, and it's evened out for the most part between Dragon Kune and Nova Frost.
Man, All right, there's just so much. The bot lane, after getting the kill up on Nova Frost, they went ahead and tried to get the dragon, but seeing that Jin Daddy was level 6 and Orianna was at half health, they decided, okay, yeah, just go ahead and press R, and they can pretty much just run at them at that point. Summoners are down for most of Frost Esports and Tisk at this time. Top lane flashes are up now, though, as well as junglers, so there's that. You know they're going to use them topside.
I would expect them to use them topside with how much action's been going on. We also have the teleports up for the top laners, though. So we might be seeing some teleport flashes coming out.
There's no flank wards as of yet for them to teleport to, but who knows? Dragon Cadet has no fear of Rocket jumping forward, as we've seen so far this game. Solo Ross looking to get a little bit of damage down. Doesn't work out. It's okay, though. Mordekaiser really just starting to be a bully here. DeFluff, I think he might be trying to all in, and he is, because look at the river. He has two of his teammates coming forward, Warwick and Malzahar. This could be a dead Mordekaiser here. He's able to not get the mount back yet. Will he be ticked down? He does. The three-man roam into the top side, kills the over-aggressing top laner. It's like I'm watching a Naughty Nips game or something, and GVG is just getting punished.
It looks like we're gonna see a Earth Dragon taken here by Frosty in response to their top laner getting taken up. We're also gonna see some action on the Rift Herald,
which I think is really good by them, seeing that there's nothing they could really do in their lanes or to help out their top laner. So they go ahead, they respond, they get the dragon, trade it for the Rift Herald most likely. Rost is looking over there. Can he get the steal? They are a little bit low. The ultimate does go down. They secure the Herald, but it might be at the cost of their lives, and it is. Fluff goes down. Weren't able to get the Herald fast enough.
just barely not. Solo Ross going on his ultimate wasn't able to get the smite off in time. Or he may have not had it up, maybe he's on a champion.
More trading coming out into the bot lane. Varus very quickly has to wait a minute of a solo kill in the mid lane. Jin Daddy getting very fed on this Malzahar, was able to pick up a lot of these last hit kills, and he can pretty much just do what you just saw. Go on to the Orianna, has a 2-level lead at this point, and he is becoming very, very scary.
It's definitely going to become scary when there's not a lot of like immediate CC that can interrupt his ultimate on the side of Frosty. If he ends up flashing forward on the Nova Frost, that could end up being just being an ADC out of a fight.
Absolutely. And as you saw in the bot lane right before that, Dragon Kane just showing, I have no fear. I will jump onto your face. Varus fortunately did have the ultimate to go ahead and get away there, but he has to be a little careful of doing that in a team fight. But so far, it's proven to work out for him. Hasn't been punished for it yet.
Let's see if he keeps doing it in the team fight, though. I'm excited to see if he does.
You see Mordekaiser doing so much damage down onto DeFluff. Was able to get a sneaky bush engage. Very Garen-esque.
Bit of unfortunate timing for DeFluff there, though. Actually gets yoinked out of his E by Bear Trap on a rope. Forced to flash out.
Not the best. We do see another engage. I'm not sure why Fluff is going forward here. He might go down yet again. Mordekaiser losing the mount. Almost gets the last little bit of health with the Q. Isn't able to. Fluff, though, knocking him up with the Ornn ultimate. Knows that Jin Daddy is on the way. Mordekaiser seeing his life go before his eyes. There's nothing he can do. That's the saddest moment. Your mount leaves you. Your health bar leaves you. And Jin Daddy's just collecting free kills here. As he waddles back down onto mid lane.
Yep, now with his ultimate back up, ready to do it again mid. And
yeah, he didn't even use his ultimate. Can they go ahead and get the kill here? Dub XL missing the ultimate. Doesn't matter though. They just have enough damage. They don't even need to hit all their abilities at this point. That's just the lead that they've accrued. 5-0 on Jin Daddy. They're not stopping. Every second this man has his ultimate up, somebody dies.
That does sound about right for Malzahar. What we see of Malzahar in this more competitive environment. It's usually just a play around the mid lane, get a flash ultimate off, and with a Warwick being able to engage from such a large distance.
Do you see another engage coming down onto the top side? Mordekaiser did use his ultimate to go ahead and get this started. Will he be able to get too much, though? I don't think he does. Not enough follow-up. If he was able to do any of these engages with his jungler, I think he'd have a lot more success, but it doesn't really matter. He's almost up 30 CS on his opponent purely from the 1v1, even after being camped. They do fancy a 2v2 in the river, but look who's also here. Jin Daddy on the flank. The R button is not ready quite yet. Will they both go down here before he's able to help? Kind of an untimely roam from Mordekaiser. He's trying to get the ultimate back. Or he's trying to get the, can he get it back? Jin Daddy, no mana. He can't press R. And, unfortunate roam from the mid lane, and they go ahead and get 2v3'd in the top side. Solo Ross picking up all of those kills. He's going to be huge.
Definitely picking up the... Now 3-0 from only being 0-0-1. That's a huge swing in gold for him, and it looks... If I'm judging by that Ruby Crystal, it looks like he will actually go Ross this game to try to deal more with that front line.
I don't know. I'm still going to hold out. Maybe pray for the Shadow Assassin. I want to see what we saw in the Gathering of Warriors. Where's the Duskblade? And as... Shy Quinn sees that her lane opponent is dead. She goes ahead and shoves up the mid tower, almost takes it. DubXL coming here to cover. Will he be able to do enough? I think he might. But you were waiting for it. You're like, things were going so well for Tisk Tisk, and then all of a sudden the throw happens, and now gold is in Frosty Esports' favor.
Yeah, with that first tower lead, they're now up about a 1.5k gold. Not a huge lead though. It's still really minor. It's really going to depend on how they manage to push this. So it looks like they're going to try to get Mordekaiser to roam off of that tower being gone.
Yeah, you are correct. It is minor, but at the same time, it's just, man, things were looking so grim, and then all of a sudden, Solo Ross and Mordekaiser go ahead and turn it around, really showing us that Kled into Ornn matchup isn't bad. And here we go, Mordekaiser engaging down onto the mid lane. Stopwatch does come out from Jin Daddy. Ultimate's coming out everywhere. He does flash ult past Mordekaiser to go ahead and kill Shy Quinn, still using that huge lead they got. And they're like, you know what? Last time was just a mistake. Jin Daddy didn't have mana. He couldn't press R. Well, guess what? He could press R this time. Double bubble trouble coming out for the bot lane. Did get some nice poke off. I don't think it'll turn into too much, but they could be fancying a bot lane dive here. Solar Rost is in the area.
Oh, behind.
Just to talk about other stuff going on while the stream catches up.
Unfortunate.
You see a Warmog's in the top side, but no fights are breaking out. They're just gonna go ahead and
teleport is coming out. Double teleport's coming out onto this dragon.
Will they be able to engage? Mordekaiser does have the ultimate. They do see Jin Daddy. No press R available and just goes completely out of that fight. Nami trying to get the disengage. I think she'll be able to walk away, but the rest of her team is just going to go down here. Dragon Kane being able to rocket jump out of there. Is the fight done, though? Are they going to be able to catch the fluff? No! Huge flash over the wall. No one deciding to follow over. And what looked like a free dragon suddenly got punished heavily by Frosty. I believe it did still go over to the side of Tisk Tisk, but at a cost.
Just did manage to pick it up at a cost. It might not be done yet. Picking up another kill. Gonna pick up a tower now. Mid lane's pushing pretty hard, so it could be another tower going down.
Yeah, tower goes down, and just every time that Tisk Tisk gets some form of a lead, they kind of just like stay a little bit too long, kind of press their advantage a little bit too hard, and then Nova comes right, or Frosty Esports comes right back and just punishes it. And they go ahead and pick up another tower, so that's a 2-tower swing and a ton of kills for the side of Frosty Esports. And I'm just looking at this bot lane. Varus hasn't backed in so long.
Goes back on his Targons and
picks up the full Rage Blade and Tier 2 boots. And you know Lulu's going to have the Ardent Censer done in a heartbeat.
Yeah, with the back coming out from a lot of members, this is going to be that fight you were... This next fight should be the one you were talking about where Frosty managed to hit their power spikes on their items and got a fight out right after that. This next fight should be the big one, with Baron coming up in 1 minute. At this point, I would definitely say that Frosty's strong enough to do the Baron if they get a really good team fight and don't lose too much for it.
To be honest, I think both teams are still pretty almost equal in power level, although I will say this, Varus with the Rage Blade and the Lulu with the Ardent Sensor, that's going to be a lot of damage really fast if he doesn't get focused down at the beginning of these fights. They have been going on to the Orianna for the most of these engagements with the 1, 4, and 2 score being able to prove that. But if they just leave Nova Frost in the backline to free auto attack, no one is going to survive.
No, him having the red buff now as well, they're really looking to get something off on this in the next minute or so here. Mordekaiser and Drago are just going to look at each other a little bit.
It is 20 minutes. Baron has spawned. Mid lane being pushed up by Frosty. We'll see whether they want to rotate over to that, maybe get some vision control. Choosing to keep the bot lane in the mid. Not too bad of an idea, sending Orianna to go ahead and shove out the top side.
They do have to be careful here, though. There are no teleports available. So Frosty Esports could end up in a bad 3v5 situation.
They give Luba over to Not a Real Doctor, giving her that 10% cooldown and that little bit of extra mana just to buff up Nova Frost. That much more. I'm not sure if it was intentional, I'm going to be honest with you. But that's how it's going to work out.
Unintentional or not, they are getting that 10% buff onto Not a Real Doctor.
Absolutely, giving them 30% cooldown reduction as of right now, which is huge at level 10. I'm waiting for this next team fight. Everyone's positioning up for it. Teams don't want to stay split up because they know as soon as it breaks out, a lot of people are going to die. Both these team fights are so explosive and pretty much just one button heavy.
And right now, Mordekaiser's caught up to his team. He has his double item power spike. He has the Titanic Hydra with the Black Cleaver.
I'm a little bit worried about how far Defluff is falling behind. 2 levels behind his top laner and 50 CS down. But that lead is pretty much being counteracted by how far Jin Daddy's ahead at this point. 80 CS above his lane opponent, and the fight looks like it's about to break out. Goes wide on the Ornn ultimate, and Kled sees that and is like, alright, let's go forward, guys. Lulu will already be brought down on the Solo Ross, but the fight is going in so many different directions. Mordekaiser's trying to take out the backline, whereas the front line's taking out the other side. DubXL still alive. Defluff 2 goes down in the middle of this fight, and here we go, Dragon Hey going forward. He does have the reset on the jump. Orianna, no more shields left available, picks up the kill, and wow, okay. There was just so much happening there, it was really hard to tell, but basically both front lines dive the back lines, and the back line of Tis stayed alive just long enough in order to survive and clean up.
Maybe just a bit unfortunate. Mordekaiser's bear trap on a rope connected onto Kimchi instead of either of the carries that were sitting pretty much on top of Kimchi. Him kind of being forced to drop his damage onto Kimchi meant he didn't manage to take out one of the important carries.
There was just so much going on in that fight. Really hard to keep track of Mordekaiser seeing an overextended Jin Daddy in this top side. There's no way he turns this around, right? He does have the flash to get away, hits the silence, breaks him out of it, but no, it is not enough. I was scared there for a minute, but Mordekaiser showing his prowess on the Kled pick.
Ends up being one more summoner blown by Frosty. They did both flash up there for that. Mordekaiser might be in a really bad spot here where Dub smells him.
Has to be careful. Will he be able to get it off in time? He almost gets the mount back. That could have spelled trouble for Double XL, but he doesn't do it. Whew.
Incredibly close. Dragon's up in 5 seconds. I don't know if they're going to be able to rotate back down on Tis. And they also have their bot lane in the red side jungle here. Might be able to do something. It is
Seeing
warded.
Everyone top lane to go ahead, pick up the Ocean Drag.
Quick as it can. Gold's back to only being about a 1k difference.
This is a surprisingly even game for how explosive it's been.
For Tis
Leads on weird members on both sides.
For just being down 2 towers, only being down 1k gold is not too bad for them.
That just tells you once they do start knocking down these towers, their just gold lead is going to increase exponentially.
Oh yeah. definitely going to be huge for them.
Looks like they're going for a little bit of a siege here in the mid lane.
Mordekaiser doesn't have his teleport up if a fight does break out, although he still has his charge up. And Shy Quinn switched from teleport onto exhaust now.
They have to be a little bit careful having Jin Daddy in the bot side, because they could just go ahead and start up Baron here, and he's the majority of their lead.
Yeah, he's over half of the kills on their team.
Frosty Esports not wanting to go ahead and start it, but Solo Ross saying, yeah, let's go ahead. They do see Jin in the bot side, see DeFluff as a free kill, and they go ahead and pick it up. Unstoppable charge. Not going to hit anybody, but it gave them the motivation needed. Now, as they got the kill, they see the free Baron, they go ahead, they turn onto it, sweeping out the vision. I don't think there's much they can do to contest.
Probably not too much with Jin Daddy still being alone in the bot lane. They can pick up that tower there. Maybe try to push for that mid lane turret as well. They do have Mordekaiser lurking around here. If this
Double Excel, finding himself in a bad spot, goes wide of 4 members. Isn't able to get anything going, but Dragon Canary does pick up that kill, gets the reset. Is Nova Frost going to be able to chase him down with the speeds up? Yes, he gets the snipe. But why did they engage here? What are they getting out of it? That's what you're asking? Jin Daddy split pushing the entire time in the bot side. He might even be able to pick up an inhibitor turret.
Inhibitor turret at the most. He does have Mordekaiser here now with that Baron recall. He does get the turret with that large minion wave. Ends up being 3 turrets off the split push in the bot lane.
But how much will they lose now that they've given up Baron to Frosty?
So far, it's been one team fight and 1 turret.
That wouldn't be too bad.
Like so far, Frosty, they've got the Baron, which is probably worth about 2 turrets worth of gold. They do pick up the turret and the team fight. So right now, it's pretty even. I think they did win that, especially since now they get to set up their play. Mordekaiser, I don't think I'll have teleport up until the end of Baron. The ultimates are coming back up on Frosty Esports and Tis Tis.
Let's see if they're able to get any sieges off with the Baron. They do have a great team to do so. They do have to fear the Orianna Shockwave. They do have to fear these Varus auto attacks being buffed up by the Lulu. I gotta say though, you look at all these items that are going down on the map, and then you look at Ornn. He's sitting there,
Yeah.
2 items, 93 CS. Not the most efficient items on Ornn.
Just check this. Yeah, Ornn. Right now, the Fluff is only beating Not a Real Doctor by about 30 gold.
Yeah, he's in a rough spot, but you know what? He just has to be that body for his team. Hopefully, he's able to pull it out, because he definitely needs to last long enough in order for the backline of Malzahar and Tristana in order to just get through this Kled, who's so huge right now.
Yeah, I think a large part of his issue is rushing that Warmugs. Doesn't really give him anything. He still hasn't unlocked Warmog's heart. He doesn't have enough health, because he also went for an item afterwards that gave him no health to actually get to the 2,700. He still isn't making the most use out of his first item. And the only defense he has outside of that health bar is this very small amount of armor.
We may be getting into a fight here soon. They are sieging up this bot lane tower. It will be taken pretty much for free as Orianna continues to shove in the mid lane. They have to be careful of keeping Jin Daddy up on that top side too long. If he recalls here, this could be an inhibitor turret. Fight's already breaking out because he's not here at the start of it. Mordekaiser being the front line his team needs. Nova Frost has to be careful. He is tanking tower aggro. Orianna goes down super low. Not a real doctor, overextending just a little bit too much. And basically what happened there was a ton of miscommunication, and thankfully they only get out losing 2 members. So a 2-for-2 trade, they don't pick up the tower, which is unfavorable juggling of turret aggro there. Mordekaiser never picked it up.
It really wasn't good for them that it switched to Not a Real Doctor. His entire health bar was taken out by that turret aggro. It was a really good start to that dive, picking up 2 quick kills, but the reaction afterwards by Frosty Esports was just a bit too much behind. They wanted to keep going for it, but they weren't able to get the tower aggro working in their favor to actually keep playing it out.
If they were to keep it off Nova Frost and just keep letting them get those free autos in on the rest of the members as they charged forward, that could have potentially been a game-ending fight. But, you know, things happen, and now here we are. We're still in the game. Tisk is surviving. Still only 3k gold down to 30 minutes. Not too shabby. The next dragon is spawning.
Tisk only being down 3k gold definitely isn't bad at all, but now that they've picked up their turrets, and that they're not... You know, they're not just down in the turrets, only being down a little bit. It's definitely starting to show through as how much that gold difference is. They could still pick up an easy turret in the mid lane and the top lane, though. But the mid lane being really low, just walk over and take, as well as the top lane turret just being so far out there since they still haven't taken the first one. They've got their options if they want to try to catch themselves back up in gold, which is right there in front of them. Or it could be a team fight here with Shy Quinn being in the top lane.
They are splitting with the Orianna, who does have teleport. They have to be a little bit careful about starting this off. But if they don't start it, she's just going to go ahead and pick up a free top lane tower. Here we go with the engage. All 5 members here. Orianna not teleporting yet. Huge knockups coming out from the wave and the Ornn ultimate, and that's the combo that you want to see. Dragon A picking up the free kills. Fortunately, Mordekaiser gets out of there alive, but that is a clean sweep. Shy Quinn not wanting to use that teleport. Will she even be able to pick up this tower? Does pick it up. Will it cost her her life? The chase down is not going to happen. Okay, she does get out. Trading a tower, though, for... They didn't even get the dragon. Trading a tower for a lost team fight. Potentially mid-inhibitor tower going down. Potentially mid-inhib. Not worth. Kimchi has to be a little bit careful trying to engage down to Mordekaiser there. Or Mordekaiser, sorry. Dragon A being able to ult him off. He's a little bit too far ahead, though. Trying to get in the maximum amount of damage, and it was just too much. But trades his life for... Is the fight done? Is the fight done? It's almost done. Wait a minute. Ornn ultimate coming out, slowing up the engage just a little bit. Solo Rost will be able to stick onto these guys for a while. Gets the double knockup on the W. Here we go with Nova Frost being able to free auto, but he gets eliminated by Jin Daddy in 2 abilities. Was not expecting that much damage coming out. The fight is still going. The space is just going everywhere. They somehow turn this back. Double XL with a huge ultimate coming across the screen, and they go ahead and they pick up the ace. Is this going to be the game? That is not what I was expecting at all. Jin Daddy being such a hero. 13-3-3. They don't look like they're going to go for the end. They might just pick up. Wait, are they though? Could this be the end? First Nexus Tower going down. All 3 members swinging away as fast as possible. Mordekaiser's the only one up. Jin Daddy's ultimate is available. They're going to go for the Nexus. They go ahead and ult. Mordekaiser isn't going to be enough to get him off of his mount. He does have a GA. There's a lot of health on this guy to go ahead and get down. Just focus the Nexus. Get the Nexus. Get the Nexus. Can they stay alive? They can't. The game's not over. It's not over.
The Nexus is still standing.
Gonna fall down. This fight will not stop. Can Kimchi save Jin Daddy? He will not be able to. The shutdown goes down to Mordekaiser. What is going on? They didn't end the game. It was so close.
They were
Jin Daddy
there.
was so afraid to walk up. He didn't auto the Nexus.
He didn't auto the Nexus to Fluff and Double XL both switching off to try to focus Mordekaiser.
Mordekaiser, being the hero his team needed, took enough aggro to get them off the Nexus, potentially save the game, and they go straight onto the Baron. Drago has to be a little bit careful here. It looks like he's flanking. Is he gonna go for the back door?
They do have Shy Quinn in there, but this Nexus is really low.
They see him. He's going for it. No. Back off. Don't do it. Your life is not okay. That was so scary for a second. I almost thought he was gonna hop over that wall into 5 members. Oh my gosh, what a game. First game of tonight, and this is going absolutely wild.
Definitely going crazy. I'm not sure on the Varus builds right now. I don't really pay attention to that champion at all. He's got a bit of crit going right now, 50%. Is this gonna be? Is it a Rageblade crit build that a lot of players like to do?
It's not the worst, but without the wit's end, he's not doing nearly as much damage as he should be. Especially when you have an Ardent Sensor support, getting that wit's end is so massive for your Rage Blade.
Oh yeah,
So it's a little suboptimal. He is still putting out a lot of damage though.
Wit's End would really not be bad here though, with the Fluff putting out magic damage. Jin Daddy being so strong.
Gets one shot. Jin Daddy just walking up to the top lane, says hello and goodbye to Shy Quinn. Will they finally get that top T1 as they push down onto the mid lane? Will this be the fight for the Nexus? DeFluff starting it off a little bit too early before his team's able to get there. They do have 30 seconds. Another missed ultimate coming down. Nami Wave knocking up 2 members, which isn't bad. Kimchi, though, has to be a little bit careful. Their only hope here is if Drago is able to pick up some nice auto attacks. DeFluff is going to go down. So does Nami. Is Jin Daddy going to be chased down by Mordekaiser? It looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. That man is on an unrelenting pursuit. They finally proc his Guardian Angel, which is huge. Redemption comes down on a Jin Daddy, does pick up a little bit more health, and the ult comes back up. Jin Daddy turning these fights again and again and again. Can Drago pick up the kill before Mordekaiser picks his passive? He gets out of there alive. He'll be blown by Nova Frost to just keep his top laner in the game. Jin Daddy turning these fights every single time. I can't believe it. How does he do it?
Drago Kane is such a huge priority, but yet they can't afford to drop everything onto him with Jin Daddy being this strong.
He has to be a little bit careful with positioning. There's been a few times where he's been in melee range of some pretty big threats, so if he can just get just a little bit of an angle in these fights, I think he's just gonna pop off because so much of the focus is being put down onto Jin Daddy.
Looks like the inhibitor's gonna come back up soon in the mid lane for Frosty Esports. The bot lane shouldn't be too far behind it, which will be really nice for them. They got the dragon spawning about 10 seconds. I'm not sure if this is the Elder Dragon coming up right now or not.
This should be the Elder.
If they're only
gonna go for it.
If they're only dealing with super minions on the bot side, it's not hard for them for Frosty Esports to position with the Elder Dragon.
Is Frost Esports gonna go ahead, start this one up? Will they do it? Everyone is sitting around the bot side. They do have wards on the objective, but it's being melted so fast. I don't really think anybody can respond here. But as I say that, Double XL, go ahead and get the snipe steal. This is going to be the steal that wins the game. It looks like it just might be. Solo Ross going down. Now they have empowered Elder Dragon buff on top of them. Drago Kane flashing forward. He doesn't care. Huge Orianna ultimate, knocking 2 members down extremely low. Has to be careful. The slows are coming down. Double XL saying, hey, you took my health bar. I take your life. This is going to be the push for the end of the game. 4 members still alive against 3. 2 huge carries down on the side of Frosty. Is Mordekaiser and Nova going to be able to stall this one out? I don't think it's going to happen.
Jin Daddy's alone right now for Mordekaiser Commanding get on him. He does have his ultimate. Jin Daddy does have his ultimate up soon.
It is up. He is going to be able to kite this out. The mount does go down from Mordekaiser. Huge knockup, 3-man for DeFluff coming out when his team needs it. And again, the rocket jumps forward from Drago. Happening all game. Jin Daddy holding him in there for the base, picking up the double kill for Drago. And that will be the end of game number 1. My God, Drago going forward one more time. Wasn't enough for him. He had to prove a point, and he proved it with that dive. Victory coming out for Tis. It went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then he hammered it in there. Jin Daddy being such a monster on the Malzahar. I can't believe the game we just saw. That huge Elder Dragon steal from Double XL, flying in there with the ultimate, being able to smite it. That was just phenomenal League of Legends. Whew!
Maybe a bit unfortunate there for Frosty Esports. The fight happening right there at the Dragon Pit. Shy Quinn was not there for the Elder Dragon. They saw an opportunity to take it, and they tried to get it down fast enough, but Shy Quinn wasn't able to catch up in time to really be there for the team fight until the very end.
Man, those comps, like, that game, that was just, wow. All right, just, man, take a look at some of the graphs here. That's what people want to see. All right, take a look at some of the graphs.
Wow, that is a damage up to
no
champions.
one's surprise. To no one's surprise, Malzahar coming out with 53k, almost 54, just completely turning these fights on the tip of his finger by pressing R. Like, You want to talk about the importance of an ability? He just completely changed the dynamic of that game. Like, absolutely. As if we were gonna give MVPs for each single game, 100% goes to Jin Daddy. Like, that was just phenomenal game from him. Man, great effort by Mordekaiser on the Kled. Keep trying to claw his team back into it. Nova Frost on the Varus was almost able to get to that power level that we were talking about with the Lulu speeding him up, but it just didn't happen. Man, what a game.
What a game indeed.
Taking a quick look at wards. We won't go over too many stats, but wards placed. Get rid of this. Got Solo Rost coming out with the most due to zombie wards. He didn't really place 39. He placed more along the lines of 20, but that's still a pretty good job. Everybody contributing greatly to the warding process except you, Jin Daddy. Come on, man. Got to step it up with only the 9 wards. Supports basically being dead even. Everyone doing their part. 27 though, coming out from Tristana. Come in. That was just with the W's forward. That's how he really provided his vision by engaging these fights with Rocket Jump. Oh man, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I really don't think they drafted enough of an engage with the Nami ultimates, the Malzahar ultimates, the Warwick engages, and the Ornn engages. No, you have to have the Tristana engage. Out of all of that engage you have, that's where you need it.
All right, so that's the end of game 1. We'll be right back with game 2 in just a short break as we go ahead and make up this lobby. So we will see you just a few minutes. Stay tuned.